Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Justice Haynes is very likely out for the season. This is not a good news way to start the video. It just isn't. But we are going to talk about some of the things that make Michigan different. Now, I understand they were playing against a completely defeated in Big Ten play Purdue team, a team that came in 2-6. But we're still Michigan. We get everybody's best shot, and we were absolutely shorthanded. So we're going to talk about why this move kind of makes Michigan different. We're going to talk about why this is such a culture move. When we hear the news that Justice Haynes is getting surgery to repair his foot. He's getting foot surgery. And so whether this means it was a horrible sprain, that's not what it means. Whether this means it was a broken foot, that's definitely what it means. All right, and we'll confirm why that was. We'll talk about all that stuff, but we also just need to talk about how Michigan just took a necessary step forward as well. And I just want to remind you all of where we're coming from. I want to remind you of where we're coming from. This was the injury report from against Purdue. And Rod Moore was out. Now, if we started the season, who was our best safety? It was Rod Moore. Justice Haynes is out. Who is our best running back? It's Justice Haynes. Cole Sullivan and Jimmy Rolder out. All right, two of our absolute best defensive players. Evan Link was out. All right, our backup, or our third string running back, Micah Kapana, out. So you look at this, and it's, yes, somewhat devastating. You look at what would have been a starting tackle in Andrew Babalola. He is out. And Hogan Hansen, at questionable, he's questionable every game, but I never see him. Can somebody do a wellness check on this guy? I want to make sure he's still okay. But here's the deal, and I want to go into first the Justice Haynes injury, kind of talk about that, but then talk about what we were able to pull off despite having our best players miss the game. And by the way, what you can account for is Jayshawn Barham getting hurt in, the first series? I mean, I want you to think about that. When you think of guys like Rod Moore, Cole Sullivan, maybe I won't talk about Justice Haynes first. Cole Sullivan, Jimmy Rolder, Jayshawn Barham. Moore, Sullivan, Rolder, Barham. Those four guys. Where do you put them as far as importance on this defense? Because I'm going to be honest with you, when you start the year, if you know Rod Moore's back, let's assume healthy, I think Derek Moore is the only guy on the defense that might be more important than any of these guys. You could make an argument that one of the corners is, but even Jair Hill has not been consistently playing at corner. Even they rotate him in and out. These are guys that play almost every single play unless it's just due to the fact that they're gassed because they've been playing so much. This is extremely important, and yet our defense was able to hold up. Yet our defense was able to do things. That is what championship programs do. Even when they have injuries, it doesn't result in a loss. This is a large amount of injuries for any team to overcome against any opponent, period. And then you add to the fact that Justice Haynes is out. So naturally what we have to do is we have to go to Twitter to find out exactly what's happening. All right, Twitter doctors, here we go. All right, first, undergo surgery, good vibes. I'll do prayers, all right? I'm good with that. Justice Haynes smiling, high-fiving teammates all night long. Such a great man, but it had to be tough for him. Here's where we start to see some different things. And when I go down, what I'm very interested for is either high ankle sprain, all right, or Lis Frank. I'm worried it's more the Lis Frank ligament right here, or maybe he just simply broke a bone, right? This can happen to runners. This can happen to a lot of people, all right? This is the one, the post, all right? I think it's funny that Justice Haynes went to Miss Hayes' class, all right? I love that the dude has a broken foot, but he's still showing up to read to these young kids. All right, it says, look to popped in for read aloud. Justice Haynes, U of M running back. Even Saturday's broken foot didn't stop him. Okay? Maybe the teacher's giving away a little something she shouldn't have. All right, but here's the deal, and this is where I need to have the conversation with everybody. This is not as big of a hit, I think, as we originally thought it was. When you look at our backfield, yes, Justice Haynes is number one. He's 1A. But 1B and a guy who's showing that he has some of the same juice, not the same burst, I understand that, does it in a completely different way, is Jordan Marshall. All right, Justice Haynes is more likely to pop off a 70-yard run. Jordan Marshall is more likely to continually get you 4 or 5. And that, I think, is one of the big difference between the two. Justice Haynes has power. Don't get me wrong, but he has speed. All right, he has big play ability. Jordan Marshall is a bruising power back. And I know we've spent a lot of time talking about these running backs. I understand that. But where it hurts is not, once again, in the beginning. It's not at running back number 1. I think Jordan Marshall proved to us that RB1 is still in good hands. Where it hurts is when you get down here into running back 3, or what is now running back 2 and running back 4, and Jasper Parker and Bryson Cusdahl. All right, now, Sharon Moore had great things to say about Bryson Cusdahl, and he did. He came in and averaged over 5 yards a pop, albeit on 4 carries against Purdue, but he absolutely came in and did the things that he needed to do. The offensive line is always, and I repeat, always going to be the key to successful running games this year at Michigan. Jordan Marshall has proven if the line blocks well for him, he will get yards. All right, Justice Haynes proved that if the line blocks well for him, he will get yards. Now we need to figure out if Jasper Parker or Bryson Cusdahl can do the same. We have the best running backs coach in the country. All right, we have 2 of the most talented running backs in the country. One of them's hurt. So now the question is, can one of the other guys step up? I think that's the big question that we have to ask ourselves. And then when we look at the defensive side, we know Justice Haynes is going to be out, most likely for the year. Like, that's just, when you get surgery on a broken foot, broken bones, like, you don't come back within 5-6 weeks. Like, it's always at least 6 weeks. I feel like that's always what it is. When it comes to the foot, it's usually more, even if it's a stress fracture, even if it's a hairline fracture, right? Like, you need to understand that. The question for me is, can we now rely on our defense to do the right things? And that is, for me, the question more than how serious is Justice Haynes' injury. The question becomes, how serious is the injury for Sullivan, right? Is he out for multiple weeks, or did he just miss the Purdue game? Jimmy Rolder, is he out for multiple weeks, or is he just missing the Purdue game? Jayshawn Barham, does the bye week give him enough time to get back? Would he have come back if this was against Ohio State in that game? All right, the way what we saw, I don't know what it could be. It did not look like an injury that should have happened. I am a little frustrated that it happened and he wasn't just, playing at the end. So these are the kind of questions that you have to ask yourself. The other questions you have to ask yourself is, are we going to start burning red shirts, right? Is Chase Taylor going to burn a red shirt now? Like, these are the kind of questions, like, depending on how much they have to play, that we at least need to be, having a discussion about. So it should be very interesting to me. The young guys get to play. We'll get to flex our depth. But we have a bye week to figure it out. If these guys are still out against Northwestern, then we can start to worry about the seriousness and the longevity of their issues. Until then, we just won't know, and we get to show our depth. All right, thanks for watching. It's a bummer, but Michigan shows that they continue to do things the right way, and they have built depth in their program, especially in the running back room. All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.